Alright guys, so a lot of times in my videos or like while I'm out or comments or whatever the case may be, I get a lot of questions about why I don't film on the water. So I've hinted at that I might get on some clips on the water. Um, I just don't do it. I really want to focus on fishing, being the best version of myself on the water that day without getting upset because of this or upset because of that. I really just like to focus on what I'm doing. Occasionally, I have set it up kind of like on the step going up, and I kind of get the back of where I'm at as long as it doesn't show what's going on, what the boater's doing. That's a really big thing for me too, is showing what the boater's doing. Yes, I know where we're at. I very rarely remember. I get asked all the time, where did you catch those fish at? Where did you catch those fish at when I'm in the back of someone else's boat? To me, I'm never going to answer that question. So I don't know why people ask me that question. I'm never going to answer that question. Do I know? Yes. Have I had a conversation about it? Yes. With my boater? Yes. If he tells me where we're at, if he doesn't, I don't care. I never ask. I never be like, hey, where are we at? What part of the lake are we at right now? I don't even ask those questions while I'm on the boat, guys. Like, I don't typically plan on coming back to fish that stuff unless I have a conversation with them and they say it's okay. Like they're out of town, they're fishing one derby, they're never going to be back in the state again, but they found something in practice that's good. And then hey, you know what, buddy, hey, if you want to come back and fish this whenever you want, come back and fish it. In that case, yes, I'll remember. If it's good. If it's not no good, I'll forget it. If I don't think it was approached properly, I may try it again if I got the permission type of thing. But I don't know, guys. I'm just weird about that. I realized early on in my bass fishing journey that I handle things a lot different than some people may. Some people are pretty blunt, pretty forthcoming with their comments, just say what they want to say. If they were backboated, they just say, man, I was backboated the whole time. I'll never say that. You literally will never hear me say, I was backboated the whole time. In my mind, that's just another challenge. That's just another obstacle that I got to do. And I don't consider it backboating. I consider it sometimes it is straight up blackboating. I just won't call it that, but I know what it is. Sometimes it's just a person is trying to put themselves in a position to be successful, and by them doing that, it puts someone else not in a position to be successful, but at the same time, they feel like that's what they have to do to win, so that's what they do. They're not there as a guide service for me. I don't consider a boater in a tournament to be a guide service for me. I'm not calling you a professional. I'm not calling you an elite angler. I'm calling you a boater, because that's what you are. You're a person that owns a boat. But sometimes they got to go for it, and I'm never going to fault someone for going for it unless I feel like it's malicious, unless I feel like they're mad at me about something or intentionally trying to mess me up. Then I will have to say something. We will have to have a conversation, but at the same time, that's just not how my mind works. I don't feel like people are intentionally doing that to me. Maybe they have, maybe I just don't know. Maybe I'm naive enough to just believe that most people are good, although I know some of them are not. So for me, I'm not going to show that a lot of times. Now, why you guys actually tune into the video for what it says? But I kind of also hinted at the beginning about me not being a Coangler, this being my last BFL. I kind of put it up on a couple of posts. A lot of people really want to think it has something to do with forward-facing sonar. A lot of people want to think it's just tired of the back boating or different experience here, or bad boater here, or bad boater there. A lot of times people get done with the tournament and immediately they want to sell all their fishing stuff and never go fishing again. I said mine before the tournament even started, so it couldn't have been a bad day or something like that. And that day ended up turning out great. Huge shouts out to Daryl. I believe, man, we had such a blast on the boat. I had a blast on the boat. It was a great time. I learned some stuff from him. Like you guys know, I don't really go out on these trips trying to learn stuff. I'm not trying to pick anybody's brain. Like I literally just said, I'm out there trying to do that. I fish my own tournament. I always consider myself to be in my own tournament. I do my own thing. I'm not really worried about what else is going on out there. But I am thankful when I do go out with someone who I can have a good time with. I don't feel like I'm competing against. I don't feel like they're putting me out in the middle of a channel and hoping for the best. I am thankful for those days when I can get out there and we have a good time. But to just kind of address it, because I put it on my TikTok, I put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook, put it on YouTube, put it on all those places. Guys, I just don't really feel like being a co-angler anymore. A lot of that has to do with you set certain goals for yourself, and when you achieve those goals, at some point you got to push yourself to new goals. And my goal was, I had like a 5-year plan. I wanted to do well in tournaments. I wanted to make some money in the tournaments, just to kind of make it make sense in my brain, even if it didn't make sense monetarily, like to where I was crushing it and could retire early from fishing. It's kind of hard to do that from the back of the boat, but let's just be for real. I was also a boater. People always want to lump me into this Coangler category, forgetting the fact that I was a boater, am still a boater, and could be a boater at any moment that I want to be a boater. But I literally fish tournaments as a boater, 100+ tournaments as a boater. Like, people seem to forget that. Like, I don't know why they talk to me and they're just like, assume I grew up and I was birthed as a coangler. Like, I came out of my mom's womb like, I'm a coangler. Like, that's not how my life started, as being a baby coangler. And now I've grown up to an adult coangler. I was a boater, guys, for 7 years. Like, please remember that when you're talking to me. Don't act like I just never was in a boat. Because I had a smaller boat. Wow, people have smaller boats all the time. Does not mean they're not a boater. You're a smaller boater. What? I'm sorry, what? You're a smaller boater? Get a bigger boater? Guys, make it make sense. It's not making any sense. So basically, like I said, sometimes you gotta set goals for yourself. And I achieved winning my first BFL in my second full season of fishing BFLs. I started fishing BFL seriously in 2020, where I competed for a whole season. I didn't even compete for a whole season that year. I literally only did 4 out of 5 because I missed the first one because it was on my kid's birthday. So in 2020, I started as a BFL co-angler. Maybe, no, it might have been 2019. Actually, it might have been 2019 that I started as a BFL co-angler. 2020. I'm not sure exactly which one. But by 2021, I had already won a BFL. So literally less than 2 years in, it was the second year of competing, I won the BFL. So I have already been the best of the best from a co-angler for that day. Yes, my goal could be AOY, but who cares? AOY is so many different variables to go into win an AOY, man. You could be on the, like I was in that one season. I was literally in the top 10 for AOY. For the majority of the season, I won, and I had a top 4 and the top 10 in the same season. I got 2 trophies in the same season. That was my season to win AOI. Then I got to the James River. I got in the back of a boat with a guy who, it is what it is. But let's just say I didn't do well. I did not have a good day. I did not enjoy that day. I don't even want to remember that day. I literally did like Men in Black do, and I erased my memory of that day. It was terrible. And I thought the whole day was my fault. No. I took blame for it. It is what it is. But I'm just saying, I had a chance. And that day, I literally zeroed. That's the last time I think I zeroed in the tournament ever. I refuse to let that crap happen again. I checked out mentally at about 4:30. About 4 hours in, I checked out. I just literally checked out. And I've never done that before. But that was an interesting day for me. I do not want to remember that day. So AOI is a lot going to. AOI has never been a goal of mine, though, guys. I never had AOI. I want to win. I never really made AOI a goal. I just want to win. AOI will be my goal at some point. Maybe when I can control the variables, I'll go for AOI. But right now, no, I wasn't worried about AOI. I wanted to win. So I got a win. I wanted a top 10. I got a top 10. I wanted another top 10. I got a top 10. I wanted another top 10. I got a top 10. Guys, I have 4 top 10s in the BFLs and a win. And I've only fished 40-some tournaments. And I've got like 8 to 9 or maybe 10 checks. So literally 28 to 32% of the time I put my butt in the back of someone's boat, I'm coming out of there with a check. So think about it. What else do I want to do from the back of the boat as a co-angler? And this year I got my Toyota Series check as a co-angler. That was one of my goals, to get a check out of the Toyota Series. I plan on getting more of them. But now, basically, guys, I've just changed my goal. That's literally it. I changed my goal. I've made co-angler videos. I got co-angler tips and trick videos. I got co-angler series. I've got Coangler podcast, the Coangler Chronicles. You guys familiar with that? It kind of went out of, but it might come back. I'm not sure. But guys, I've got all this stuff about Coanglers. Like, Coangler. It's like y'all think about FFS. That's just me. Coangler. Everyone. I've been disrespected by people calling me a Coangler, thinking it's gonna disrespect me. Like, guys, you ain't nothing but a co-angler. Like, people say that like it's a bad word. Like calling me broke or something. Like, you're a co-angler. Like, I had this one guy call me a YouTube fisherman. You know, YouTube fishermen make more money than regular fishermen, but by all means, call me a YouTube fisherman. Like, guys, it's like at some point you get tired of all that. So what I've really decided to do, and this is what I'm excited about, is get more into the kayak fishing. That's my plan, is to do a couple of BFLs whenever they come close to my home water on a good time of year and on a place that I think I can do well at, Kerr Lake or the Potomac. That's it. One of my goals I didn't end up accomplishing was getting a check in the BFL on the James River. I did really want one. So at some point I will circle back around to the James River to try to get me a check out of James River, but I haven't done it yet. But I really want to lock in on the Coanglers. This year I prioritized which one I was doing well in. And I planned on doing the kayaks this year. I'm glad I didn't. I think I needed a year to get myself dialed in on using the kayak, how to maneuver, how to position, what I'm looking for, whether I want to use a net or no net, what electronics I want, how far can I paddle, all these kind of getting my back stronger. I feel like I needed that time to work on the kayak thing to be ready to dive in for a full year. But I was ready to go for it this year, right off the bat. I was ready to dive in. A couple things changed with the schedule in one of the deals I was trying to fish. Weather related, it messed me up being able to fish the first tournament because then it conflicted with the BFL. So when I just did the BFL, then I knew the rest of the kayak tournaments I was going to do was contingent upon how I started the season. If I started good and I felt like I was in contention, I was going to rock with the kayaks. But since I didn't start the kayak, I didn't jump in the kayak until the second tournament of the year, I was already behind. I did well, but I was still already behind. And then the rest of the tournaments conflicted. So I was going to decide to fish kayak or BFL. So I just chose BFL this year because I already had conflicts in the beginning and the rest of the derbies were going to be conflicts. So I just didn't feel like fighting it. Plus I had a link. I didn't want to let my link down. So we just rocked with it the whole rest of the year for the BFLs. And I did that this year and I feel good about it. I finished the season in 32nd in points. I'm going to the regional. It's on Curry Lake. You guys know 50% of the time I put my butt in the boat on Curry Lake, I end up getting a check. So I'm hoping I can do the same thing again. This time I just want it to be the biggest check I've ever gotten in a fishing tournament. That's just what I want. But I'm excited about that. I worked my butt off this season. This was the toughest season for me by far because I had a hard time getting motivated to lock in to go for this season because there's so much negativity in the bass fishing world right now. There's so much negativity. Every angler you run into wants to talk junk. They want to run their mouth. They got something dumb to say on the internet. They got something dumb to say on this podcast, on this show, on this forum, on this post, on this. It's just so dumb. I don't understand it. Anglers will argue about the color of a bait and end up wanting to meet in a parking lot somewhere. Like, it's the dumbest thing in the world. I can't stand it. And it's like a form of racism when you talk about forward-facing sonar. I like forward-facing sonar. Well, I don't. Well, I guess now I got to drink from a different fountain than you because we don't agree on forward-facing. It doesn't make any sense to me, guys. It's so frustrating. It blows my mind. It irritates me so bad because I don't know about you guys, but when I fish to get away from the drama, away from the extra. I enjoy fishing personally, just myself, just fishing. And I don't do it as a getaway because that means I'm having a hard time dealing with the world. So I can't always use fishing as a getaway. Sometimes I need to deal with what's going on in the world, what's happening in the world. I try to make fishing separate of that, where it's something I just enjoy. Not enjoy to get away from the world, but I just enjoy. Occasionally I do use it to get away from the world, but I don't want to make it like, it's almost, if you do it that way, it then turns into like people that have other addictive habits that they do that get them away from the world. I don't want to get away from the world. I want to deal with the world. I believe that I can live in this world due to my faith and my belief in God. I'm fine with the world, handling things in the world. I have peace, I have love, I have joy, I have these things in my heart. So I'm okay with dealing with the world, but I like fishing and I enjoy fishing. So when it comes to arguing and back and forth, and then some people say, well, don't get into it. But I'm on social media, guys. This is where I'm at. This is where most people know my life. They know what I do, what I'm involved with. So they have their comments. I have never been in more arguments with anglers than I have this year. And it's because everyone's just frustrated with the sport in general, the behavior in the sport. Who's doing this? Who's doing that? Who's not doing this? Trust me, those videos are coming, guys. Let me break here. Those videos are coming. I am going to make those videos where we're going to dive in on some of this stuff. That's going to be fun. I'm going to have some fun with it on YouTube. But that's where I'm at. So what I decided to do is just go kayak next year. I'm going to do kayak. The BFLs are not going to be my priority. If I see one that comes up and I feel like I can get into it, I register in plenty of time. I don't got to worry about the link. I just get in on day one, sign up, make sure I'm good, book my lodging if I need to. Well, there will be no lodging. I'm only fishing close to my house. Then I'm just ready to go. That's it. But I'm going to prioritize a kayak trail. If that means I got to skip the 2 BFLs that I just picked out that I want to do, then I'm going to skip them. I'm just going to do the kayak trail. So I'm going to lock in on maybe 1 or 2 different kayak trails. A couple of these online tournaments that people do with a worldwide, just fish some different places, see if I can compete in those. And Toyota Series, that's what I'm going to do. Toyota Series, the Northern Division. I'm just probably going to do 1. I don't think I want to do the New York trips and all that because I am going to be traveling with the kayaks. I want to do like the Bassmaster Kayak Trail, like the big one where I'm traveling to different bodies of water all across the country. That'll be fun for me because I know it's like 3 or 4 of them. It's not a bunch. I do it. I go in my kayak. If I catch them, great. If I don't, I don't. I come back home. The investment is not $550. Lodging all in, it might be that. But I'm just saying the initial tournament fee won't be that. That's why I'm gonna do like one Toyota Northern. When the Bassmaster Open series comes out, I'm gonna see if any of them come close by my house. Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina, South Carolina, maybe. I might hop in the Bassmaster Open. I'm just kind of getting away from the BFLs. I want to go with the bigger trails, work with my sponsors, work with my partners, see if we can line up the bigger trails, put myself, my brand, everything in front of more people at an even higher level. I feel like I should have had I feel like I should have 2 Bassmaster Open checks by now. I had a check in my hand at the Chesapeake Bay Bassmaster Open that got taken out of my hand. I caught the fish to get a check at the Chesapeake Bay Bassmaster Open. I caught enough fish to get a check, and that got snatched out of my hand. Y'all saw the video I made about that. I caught enough fish at Kerr Lake on the Bassmaster Open to get another check in the Opens. That got snatched out of my hand of my own doing. I could not get a jig fish or a crankbait fish that would have got me there. Then I did end up landing enough fish, and at the boat ramp, the fish that would have made me money jumped out of my bag at the boat ramp. So I literally watched my Kerr Lake Bassmaster Open check swim away at the boat ramp. All I had to do was get from the boat ramp to the stage. Not only did my fish jump out of my bag, I then dumped my whole bag of everything that I bought with me, trying to get back to my car to go home. I dumped everything out on the ground and started rolling down the hill at the ramp as I'm leaving Kerr Lake. Talk about a nightmare. I lost my fish. I lost my medicine, my key, my everything rolled down the hill. So I am the one guy who did not get a check, lost my fish at the boat ramp, and then had to go walk around in front of all the anglers there, picking up my stuff off the ground whatever. So anyways, I had 2 Bassmaster Open checks slip through my hand that I should have right now, and that goal would have been accomplished. So the goal is to go back. It just lets me know that I can do it, though. That's the good thing. I take away the positives. It lets me know that I can do it. I just have to make sure, one, that I don't get DQ'd because of something my boater does. So I will be on they butt about check-in time, because you're not going to screw me over. Check-in time, we better be on our way back so that I do not get messed over again for check-in time. 1. 2, make sure my fish get to the weigh-in scale. Come on, that's on me. Make sure I land my jig fish. Don't play. I can't use a net in the Opens. I can't play around with them. I got to get them. I got to flip them in the boat. If you're going to lose them anyway, I'd rather flip them, have a chance of them landing on the carpet and getting them versus playing with them on the side of the boat. I wasn't playing with it, but that's just what it feels like in my brain because I'm very hard on myself. So I just want to try some different things, guys. I'm going to branch out into some different areas, try to grow my brand. I've started partnering with some non-endemic companies to promote some stuff on social media, things that I can make commission for, get money for, things like that. So I'm just growing Bass and Furious, man. We're gonna take some different avenues, try to make some my name for myself in the kayak industry. It takes a lot of work. I by no way, shape, or form intend to come in there and think I'm this and this and that. I just want to try to make a name for myself, compete at a high level, and do the best I can. Hopefully, I catch 5 good ones, and I can get my name on the leaderboard and get me one of them kayak checks in my hand. So it took me a year to get to the BFL checks. This will be that 2nd year. Now I'm in the kayaks, and trust me, I done locked in on some stuff. I done figured out. I've put some time in, guys. I fish sometimes 3 to 4 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day in the kayak. I put my time in with the kayak to understand how it works, what I can do, where I can go, what I feel comfortable with, and different ways to catch fish. Every single time I go out, I catch them different ways, and that is a lot. That's a big thing to me when it comes to kayak fishing. So that's my plan. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I didn't plan on it being this long. I know I touched on quite a few things. I know some of my examples sometimes seem extreme, but it's just the way I look at things, and sometimes I look at things a little different than other people, and sometimes that's not well received by people, and I understand that. I understand that 100%. But at the end of the day, I am allowed to feel how I want to feel and say what I want to say. So I appreciate those of you that bear with me. Some of you, if you don't understand, it's best to just ask me if you don't understand, because I will gladly clarify with you. We can have an adult conversation and move on, whether we need to move on together or move on independently. Like, I'm totally fine with that. So I come from a different generation where I'm not here to, nor do I want to. We can agree to disagree, and we can still go fishing on the very next day. I think I literally said that at one of these conversations I've had. We can agree to disagree. We can go fish the next day, and we'll move on. I'm from a different generation. I'm not trying to cancel people. I don't want to argue with people. I don't want to block people. I don't want to do all that crap. We don't agree. That's cool. Move on. Go read someone else's stuff. Go look at someone else's stuff. Don't worry about looking at mine anymore. There's a million anglers out there you can watch, a million anglers you can look at. You don't got to look at my stuff. But for those of you who do rock with me and who appreciate the content, appreciate my honesty, appreciate my transparency, and appreciate my bluntness when sometimes I'm just saying what I need to say, I appreciate it, and I look forward to making more videos. Hope you guys are ready. I got a ton of kayak videos saved up in the vault. Tip videos saved up in the vault. Got a few rants in the vault. I got a ton of things ready, guys. I'm ready to really get this thing kind of kicked off again, like I was before, making these videos twice a week, getting this stuff out there versus, you know, once every month type of thing. So, but just so you know where it's headed towards the kayak and the bigger bigger Toyota Bassmaster Open, bigger kayak deals, and just continuing the grind. Just because I'm not doing BFLs does not change anything about my level of fishing. If I am more committed to fishing and being successful than I have ever been in my life right now at this moment. More committed to being better and more efficient and more dialed than I've ever been in my life. I can literally, the one thing I mentioned in some of my videos a long time ago, I've always wanted to get to the point where I feel like I can bring maybe 4 rods and a few packs of baits and just make them work. I am almost there. I literally can go out. I go out with the same 5 or 6 baits. I can always catch fish on the time, 5 or 6 baits. What I've been doing is adding different baits to that just in case something comes up where I need to. But I feel efficient enough with certain techniques to be able to come out and hammer it and do what I need to do, but also understanding there are multiple techniques that can work on different days and trying to be efficient with those as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. I do appreciate it. You guys have been awesome. Thank you guys. I know y'all all have a dream. I know y'all all know fish only eat Senkos. Thank you for everyone who's picked up the hoodies, the merch, everything I got, guys. I know I got a lot of stuff I got going on, but I do appreciate anyone that does rock with me. You'll see it pop up in the video, the hoodies and stuff for sale. I plan on running a sale here as well for the holidays. And also, I may be coming out with a whole brand new idea. This one's going to shock a lot of people. But hopefully someone in your household can rock with my new idea. So hopefully you stay tuned, stick with me, check that out. If you live near me, you actually may be able to rock with me on the new idea. And at some point, maybe across the world. But hopefully you guys rock with me. I do appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, my best and fierce friends, I appreciate you. Peace, peace. I'll catch you on the next one.